the same fault in the white man that the black man does. Because see, she's not the one, she does go to prison. But that's like really when she really fuck up and do something. She's not ostracized and doesn't have to go through the same struggles of making money for herself. And then when the black man is stupid and causes problem for himself, it's because he doesn't have no unity with each other. To try to open up their own store, to do all this together, because it's too much competing. Too much, you know, bullshit, blockage, stagnation of egos, trying to be like the white man, mimicking him. You see? So now all this stuff is set up to make the black man end up in prison. I come, buy me a truck, riding through the alley. I see white people doing the same thing, riding through the alley, picking up scrap. They don't have no trouble like I did. Now this cop that came and took the bank. I've been in court now damn near 9 times. All this shit because some bitch lied and said I stole something from her. Some cop came over here and backed her story up. And then the whole damn city, all you white ass people, just sit around and watch it happen. And then you watch all those black men disappear. You watch all our women smoke your cigarettes, eat your dying ass slave food that you had the nerves to call soul food. The food that we could only eat when we were slaves because it was the only thing that you guys was so damn selfish. You wouldn't let us eat anything except the stuff you didn't want to eat. So we turned that into food. And even today, when you don't have to eat that no more, you crazy ass melanated women still want to eat chitlins, still want to eat pork chops, still want to eat meat. And all this stuff you pass on to your children. So the reason we screwed up on this planet is because these European males that wants to control us forever are using prison and miseducation, bad food, bad housing, and dissension to make sure we remain under a state of bondage to them forever. All this shit I done went through just made me give up. I just can't wait till this court case is over with. Because this city, to me, the people are really nice. But when I say the whole city, I don't do anything about it because it's like not your problem. But it's gonna be your problem when you see these freaking, you know, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not. Okay. I don't even care about all that. But it is your problem. Believe me, it is. You can't sit around and watch somebody else, father, brother, husband, uncle, grandfather. And it's so bad that your own children cannot find any need for you. This is how the white man has messed everybody's mind up on this planet. And make you look at the black man, who is the true God man. You know, you guys might think that this is boasting or whatever, but I want to point something out. Out of all you people on the earth that have your egos and everything about how great you are, and you can team up with the white man and do everything you can to just perpetuate his wars, because that's all you do. When you have conflict with me and you don't know me and your face is black and my face is, we both melanated, and then I gotta feel friction from you because you a bitch and you act like one. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth about that. One thing none of you guys can say with your gang up and try to advantage other people on earth, and you have honor in that, and you real proud of that. I want you to know something. You see that laser that's on the sun that I've showed you I brought to this planet with me? I'm gonna have a lot of fun burning your fucking ass up with that, because I see what you did with this game that you played and all your little smart smirks on your face when you see somebody doing bad and you take advantage of them and you think that's cute. Good. I'm really glad to know that, because all the material shit that's on this planet is going to be destroyed, and some of the stuff that don't get destroyed is going to be because people had sense and knew how to look out for other people. But those of you who enjoy seeing people going through stress and strife, you might as well kiss that shit goodbye. Believe that. Okay, here's the deal. It says a single mom is not a lawful status with respect to mother, father, parent, or guardian. It is an implied social condition supported under the color of authority, but is abnormal in a wholesome society. Single mom, implying a mother who has been abandoned or otherwise left absent by the child's father. Okay? Most of the time, ain't no man gonna leave his child. Okay? Especially a melanated man. We know the importance of taking care of each other. We've always done that. Our families got disrupted and torn apart because the intruders came along and destroyed our whole way of existing and functioning on this earth and filled everything about us with everything about them. So everything that's fucked up about me and my world with them is because they made it that way. That's the reason why I go from trying to start a legitimate business to being a person in their court system, because that's the only way they can get down. That's the only way they can ever have anything, is that they got to steal it and lie and cheat and use violence and deprivation, handcuffs, guns, prisons, all that. That's all they can do. And that's why this earth is going to be burnt up, to get rid of them. They think forever every new child that's going to be born on this earth is going to be victimized by this type of behavior from them. But that's not going to happen. They asses are all getting ready to get burnt the fuck off of this earth. Okay. A melanin sister may openly display some degree of detest for the European male, but nonetheless, she recognized him as the source which she must ask for favors. This is by years of design, and it's not a daily accident, especially since her melanated man have been systematically displaced from any role as founder and national father. Look, the children of black men are so freaking disrespectable. This society teaches them that a black man ain't shit. And then you could be looking at your own dumbass son that's sitting there with that idiocy in his head, and he don't even recognize that he is a black man that's gonna have a child that grow one day and feel the same way about him because he feel that stupid ass way. And especially when you're a father that you know the only thing you guilty of is being victimized by a corrupt system that is designed to keep your ass broke, and then you have children who have the nerves to try to find fault in you after you have worked and struggled hard as you can to try to be as responsible as you can, and then you have a society that sit their ass around, the whole society, using religions and dumbass holidays and freaking privileges to detest someone that the universe has made and put on the earth. Don't think for 1 second that you're not gonna all be punished for that bullshit, because you are all accessories to the eradication of a whole nationality of people. All you people that tuned in with the white man and became Christians and set your ass back and watched his ass murder all the black men off this planet, your ass played a big part in that. And don't think that you didn't. Don't you sit there and try to act like you don't know in your heart that you shared in the torment and the sorrow and the tears and the bloodshed of this nationality of people, because I see it in your eyes and your faces. Only reason you're not openly still doing that shit now is because you're scared. The damn laser up on that damn sun is showing you now who the real God man is. And that's the only reason why I'm still not getting the dirty ass stares and all that shit anymore. And don't think I don't know that, because I do. This is by years of design and not a daily accident, especially since her melanated men have been systematically displaced. That means not giving jobs, not giving medical attention, not being able to go to college, not being able to, denied loans, everything, okay, falsely incarcerated, made to be in living circumstances where inflation is constantly around you all the time, constantly accused of crimes that you didn't commit. That's what displaced me from any role as founder and national fathers. Yet we are the creator's choice that was put on this earth. In fact, the melanated male in the United States of America are dead last in political, national, independent, and economical powers, more than any other man on earth. His women are reluctantly aware The so-called white man owns and controls all the material things that she wants or needs. He is made to appear as absolute ruler, while her natural man is secretly held powerless, also through his laws. Most African women born in America do not have high lifetime or godly expectations of their men. Well, I guess not. Their mother's telling them Jesus is God. Again, this is a rerun from historical programming. Early in their youth, most husband-father admirations are chipped away under the guise of doomed expectations, failure, and doubt. These form silent mental rejections of the trust, hope, and dependency necessary to promote sound companionship and strong marriage bonds. And that's true. The deprivation of you financially makes it where you can't do things for your children as they growing up. You constantly struggling, trying to fight off their corruption, like me going through this stupid court shit. That's why I left this town the last time I left, because they always put me in stupid shit of combating with the freaking judicial system. I said, you know what, I'm sick of this, I'm out of here, right? But then I found out, damn, that's everywhere you go. These white people ain't no joke. They always want to make someone a criminal so they could bog you down and extract money from you. And they the freaking criminal. And that's why the sun has brought the laser. That's why their ass is gonna get burnt the fuck up. I keep telling you guys that. I'm not a damn joke. And I'm letting you know right now. So when you feel that shit, you're not gonna be able to say you were not warned. Okay? What most single moms are experiencing is the result of what will happen when a nation's natural rights to feed itself are suppressed or destroyed. That's what I tell you. Whenever someone comes in, opens a McDonald's, and the mothers start feeding that to the children, what she has did is taken the power. Because you know what, I'm gonna tell you firsthand. I know for a fact, a friend of mine, he used to tell his wife all the time, stop feeding fast food to my children. He actually whooped her ass one night because she wouldn't stop doing that shit. And that's when they started they plummet to getting a divorce. But see, he was telling her, right, you're not supposed to let no stranger come in out of nowhere and start feeding your family. That's crazy. And that's what done happened in America. Y'all out there eating all that Chuck E. Cheese's and Jack in the Box and McDonald's and Burger King. You don't know where that shit came from, who done tampered with it, what kind of additive got put in there to make your ass become addicted to it. So go ahead and keep eating it if you want to. Okay, it is a part of human nature to gravitate with one source of survival. That means that whoever is feeding you, just like a pet, you become loyal to it. Yet what single moms are experiencing is the result of what will happen when a nation's natural rights to feed itself are suppressed or destroyed, okay? One of the methods of feeding yourself is through agriculture. Fruit trees, vegetation, tomatoes, peanuts, roots, all that stuff. It's just stuff that immediately got bulldozed over and concrete poured over the top of it. Right away, remove your self-right to supply your own source of survival. That's exactly what their method was, right away. Take their own natural source of food away from them, make them buy our food. Now we can control them because we control their ingestion of nourishment. That's what the woman is all about, with her titties, with the milk in it. So what do? Let's get rid of this. You won't be able to use your natural God-given source of sustainment for your child anymore. And we're going to give you Enfamil and Similac. All of this stuff was designed now to separate the woman from her child too. Because now where you used to hold your child and it could listen to your heartbeat and suck on your breast, now you can lay it down in that crib and pop the bottle in his mouth and go in the bedroom with your new date for the night, because that's how you get your money now, and leave the baby in the cold crib with the bottle. See, all this stuff was all systematically designed to create a world of decadence that we have right now. That's what it was all designed for. To take all the natural ability of a person to sustain themselves away from them and put it in the hands. See, the melanated woman sustainment on the fullest level was her melanated man. And likewise, the melanated man social sustainment, his melanated mother and wife and sister. All that stuff got eradicated from us and destroyed by a person who didn't even want that for himself. And to this day, still doesn't recognize the sanctity of a union of a man and woman. If he did, he never would have been so diligent about destroying that all around the planet. Didn't care. For material gain, for the monetary increase in volume in his bank vault, he will destroy all the families, cause dissension between father and son, cause dissension between father and wife, cause dissension between son and daughter. So he can take control of all these remnants of scattered broken hearts and manipulate a system of coercion, of wealth extraction through the maze of misguided, unconscious people. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened to our world. And so I go. Black women, melanated women who have yet to proclaim their nationality, either fail to realize the death blow to a nation which is dealt through the state of the single mom, or do not see the social scars from its legal entrapments. Sadly, a few sisters think the single parent family and the infamous my baby's daddy are another pressing fad or style like Converse, Gucci, Reebok, or Victoria's Secret, and will change or go away. Actually, all falsehoods will pass. The single mom too will go, but in a conflict which cannot be told in words. Women who do not retain a national scope pay little attention to the socially induced tags placed upon their man. Often they consider it normal to hear their fathers, son, and brothers propagated as a black suspect about so high weighing so much, a deadbeat dad, an inmate, prisoner, or convicted felon, unemployed dropout, a player, drug dealer, con man, pimp, hustler, in custody, shot, parolee, sentenced, homosexual, AIDS victim, or drug addict, dead, etc., with an occasional military or college service story. Now see, all this stuff right here to give you proof what they're saying is true, because here I am now, the only man on earth that has a connection with the sun, where the sun will go out of her way to show to everyone, yeah, this guy right here is a divine person. I know he is because I make him that way. I put information in his mind that make him can only be one way. If you notice, you don't see him trying to mac honeys. You don't see him drinking alcohol. He doesn't eat meat. You don't see him trying to ride around in no fancy SUVs. None of that stuff. Okay? I mean, that would be nice. Don't get me wrong, because I don't think there's anything wrong with having a nice car. But you're not going to see me go ahead and jump through all these hoops and do all these magic tricks for this white man like he required for you to have that stuff. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody should, since we live in a world where automobile is necessary, everyone should have an economical, efficient, ozone layer, qualified, and calibrated type of car that you could go on the road with. It's a shame that the earth is so wealthy, but you get a few handful of selfish, greedy ass people who always have the nerves to label me a deadbeat dad, all right? But then you want to walk around and try to be everybody Uncle Sam or the president and controller, and then you overlook tons of people. You the deadbeat, all right? A player, a drug dealer, a con man, a pimp, and a hustler, no, that'll be the government, see? That's you again, all right? Homosexual, AIDS victim, and drug addict, that will be you again too, okay? Dead with occasional military or college service story, that's you again, okay? You can see your Santa is dead, your Jesus is dead, Elvis Presley is dead, all right? Your whole government doesn't do anything but go to other planets and kill everybody and leave them dead, so that fits your ass too, okay? Inmate, prisoner, or convicted felon. Well, you're definitely an inmate, you're definitely a prisoner, and you're definitely a convicted felon by your own history books. I could go get tons of your history books and read to you your admittance to the crimes against humanity that you admit you've done in World War I, World War II, Persian Gulf. History has shown you do all type of Christian crusades where millions and millions upon millions of people were killed, 500 million people murdered in Nazi Germany war alone all over the planet. the Holocaust of the American natives when you came here, as well as the Holocaust to the African nationals that you stole from the African continent and brought here. So before you start trying to make me be the black suspect about so highwaying so much, we need to know who all these freaking profile titles should be stuck on. And then it says so-called black women striving for success or living from day to day in the European power structure are much like babies in pain. They feel the inevitable hurts inflicted upon a divided nation, but cannot diagnose or tell the cause of their unrest. They know there is something very unnatural and ungodly about the scarcity of their men, marriages, family ties, and social intercourse being inharmonious with other nations. Some sisters will refuse to take the father downtown because they sense there is something wrong and unexplained about it. Often, what they may determine as love for my baby's daddy is actually the divine bond of the true God parents, now hands together at the child. The latest powers of the Moorish goddesses are so omnipotent and magnanimous until it is totally incomprehensible to the finite minds of the earth. But because they are held hostage outside of their true nation, these powers are often misdirected or used against the very ones they love in countless situations over 4 centuries. She has used her authorized domination to save the lives of melanated men from genocidal extinction, meanwhile extracting necessities from the very table of the oppression that holds rule over her and her own. All so-called African Americans are familiar with terms like prisoners, deadbeat dad, my baby's daddy, single parent family, the single mom, and slavery. However, it is not often that one is aware of the legal and historical cords that connect these social statuses. It is even rarer for the single mom to be recognized as an institution or as a catalyst for anti-autonomy of her nation. There are millions of single moms within the borders of the U.S. Some people think it is an expected misfortune at best. Yet single mom is about as accidental as guns and drugs in any urban ghetto, United States of America, or as unplanned as the black males, which just happened to totally nearly 56% of the U.S. prison population, while compiling less than 14% of the U.S. population. Okay, listen, let me explain to you guys what's going on. They just was insisting that I sign documents and all kind of stuff, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Forcing me in a little courthouse to sign paper, or you gonna lock me up. I'm like, what are you making me, forcing me to sign something for? I don't want to sign that. Well, you sign it or I'm gonna have the deputy lock you up. So I signed it. But see, this is how they make money. They stack paperwork up on you and get you in for one little small ass thing, right? They just sitting up now hoping that I miss a court date. That's what it's all about. Hoping I miss a court date. And the papers that he made me sign was a promissory note to show in court. Upon my acknowledging of signing this, I detest that without coercion, I acknowledge my responsibility to show up in court. And it's like, I don't acknowledge shit. All I know is that if I sign this or not, if I don't come to court, you're going to put a warrant out for me for my arrest. That's how you get down. As soon as you came here to the Americas, first thing you started doing when you got your ass off the damn ship was handcuffing people and shooting them. So don't try to give me your propaganda of paperwork, which I know is nothing but bullshit policies that you've been implementing ever since day one. Because my name ain't even Paul Shields. You know that. You know for a fact that I am not English, so I shouldn't have an English name. But you played a role in that too when you came, enslaved everyone, took their original names, threw them shits away, and then renamed everybody so you can claim them as your property. So everything about your ass is filthy and out of order. Hate to be the one to tell you that, but that's the way it is. They always play these little stupid games by locking black men up or disfranchising us where we don't have money. And then we have to our children who grow up with some fucked up attitudes looking at us like we ain't shit. And it's like, don't you know that you're a black man too? You're going to grow up and go through the same shit that I'm going through, whether you don't believe it or not. You are. Believe that. There are three major sides to the producing of such a large segment of people labeled the single mom. Number one is prevention. Okay. Consider thou art a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support. Upon thee also it dependeth. Whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, used for a worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instructions and season his mind with the maximum of truth. Now see, you're not giving your son the maxims of truth if you telling him that his greatest help is going to be some white man that's going to make everything good for him. Because see, that's not true. These white men make everything messed up and hard for black men. Okay, now I'm not saying they are like that, but what I'm saying is with the problems that the average melanated man has to face in the world with his combatant of other negative, egoistical white men that's facing their own self-hatred and want to perpetuate that on other people that live on earth with them, the last thing he needs is the smallest amount of thought in his mind that some white man out there is going to be the answer to his problem. You know, what you should be telling him is how you was raped, stolen, and everything by them and brought here, and how it's important that all your sons stick together with each other and build a business for themselves so they can stand up and walk around and be proud of being who they are. Instead, only thing we get is you running your ass to church all the damn time, and you ain't barely made nothing for nobody to eat. Upon thee also it depended the importance of thy trust, the being that thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support. Consider thee also it dependeth whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, a useful or worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instructions and season his mind with the maxims of truth. This is to say the execution of the creative God powers in a man and woman to produce a child must equally be as responsible for it aftercare as the Holy Father of the universe and all his creations. It further stands with reasoning that this first law, if adhered to, and with the climbing of its subsequent 12-step ladder, single moms will be prevented. With all this, there is no better eradicator of the institution of single moms than the security of upright nation. Only within the principles of a clean and pure nation in there the protection every woman needs to fulfill her divine and natural status. That's right. I bet you before we started going through all the problems of someone enslaving us, uprooting us, displacing us, and all that little crap, we wasn't running around with no women talking about single mom. Get real. We had the whole village. And if a girl did have sex with a man, everyone knew they was doing it. And there was nothing taboo about it. We was not uptight the way everybody is today. You know, it was like your daughters and sons both started getting educated from a young age about what was expected of them and how it was important for them to conduct themselves in responsible manners. So there was no such thing as a teenage pregnancy. Okay. All that stuff is part of modern world that only comes from a society that is rampant with decadence, decay, and neglect, and greedy officials. That's where all that stuff comes from. All right? Okay. Within the principles of a clean and pure nation, in there the protection every woman needs to fulfill her divine and natural status. Now there is a government responsibility. It is the responsibility of every government to have protective care for its distressed citizen, especially its widows, widowers, and orphans. Governments through its courts and bureaus, child support enforcement, child abuse agencies, welfare, social security, etc. are necessary entities when parents and children's relationships run amok into an ultimately adversity beyond the individual control. Governments and other highly civilizations have polygamous laws as yet another remedy in preventing and or curing societies of single moms. Okay? Listen, the government has a lot of responsibility as far as providing medical, food, dental, as well as any necessary mental type of administration of professional caregiver. It should be available to all the citizens, all of them. Anytime you have a government that you can see the spending of so much money to go somewhere and murder all the citizens of another country, but then you can have a citizen that has a toothache and can't even get his freaking tooth pulled, especially somebody like me that's 52 years old. Look, I don't care what nobody say. I've worked all my life and paid tax after tax after tax after tax. And I watch all these politicians come into and steal everything, all the Social Security money, all the retirement money, everything they done stole, all everything. And then here they is, how the nurses